So how does a suspect's case go from an arrest to an indictment? Our legal analyst, Jeff Hosford, is joining us today to talk a little bit more about the work of the grand jury. Jeff, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so give us a brief lesson on how indictments come into play.
Well, typically what happens is the police department, sheriff's department, or a federal agency investigates somebody. They compile a report, they get all their witnesses together. The prosecution, which if it's a state agency, is typically the district attorney or the attorney general, then gathers that information and they get a group of people called a grand jury, and that grand jury is then presented that evidence and testimony, and that evidence and testimony is voted on by that grand jury to determine if there's sufficient evidence in order to indict that person.
So if the grand jury finds that there is not enough evidence or enough information, they will return what's called a no bill. How does that happen?
Well, a no bill means that the grand jury didn't feel like the case warranted an indictment. And basically what it says is this case is not sufficient in order to charge this person with a crime. And they order a no bill, and then that charge is remanded back to the court in which it came from, usually the municipal court or justice court, depending on who brought the charges. At that point, it may be dismissed, or they may plead them to a lesser charge and resolve the matter. The grand jury ultimately decides if somebody can be indicted. It's a catch-all to ensure that people aren't indicted, hopefully for political reasons, and to catch people from trying to just get everyone indicted that they want, and to make there be actual facts to indict someone.
All right, grand jury work is very important indeed. We always appreciate your perspective, Jeff. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me.